Hey, welcome back to our Super Mario Bros. X level editor tutorial. This time I shall be covering layers and then a couple basic things you can do with events. Now if we go to view layers here, it brings up this little layers window. And layers are not like the layers in Super Mario World because you can have as many layers as you want. Well, I'm sure there's some sort of limit, but you can have a lot of layers. And these layers, well, once you create a layer, you'll place blocks or NPCs or whatever you want on those layers, and then in the events window you can make the layers do stuff. So right now I guess I'll show you how to make just a basic platform that moves. I'm aware of this, Norton, thank you, that moves just like left and right, just like right there or something. So I'll just make a new layer and call it layer move. I didn't want to rename that. Well, let's that was awful. Do not do what I just did. You want to click add so that it makes a new layer and then name it. Do not select a layer that has already been created. Make sure you hit add and then you name it. Otherwise stuff like that will happen. Now let's open up this big old events window. And now, since we want the block to move left and right, we're going to have to create two events. One to make it move left and one to make it move right. Okay, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I guess I should explain events. Events can basically make things happen. Like it can make it so that once you do one thing, another thing happens as a result of it. So cause and effect, kind of. So you know, it can make layers move, or it can make blocks disappear or appear. It can make the music change, it can make the background change, it can do a lot of stuff with events. So I'll just make a new event. Like I said, we're going to need to make two, one to make it move left and one to make it move right. So I'll just do layer move left and then add layer move right. Oh, I know. Anyways, and then if we want this to happen, or if we want this platform to move upon the start of the level, then what we'll want to do is we'll want to select level start, and I was already kind of messing around with this. This should say none, and then you'll want to select layer move left, or whatever layer you have that makes the block move left. Or you can do the rightwards one, it really doesn't matter. And then I'll just select layer move left, and then under layer movement, since we're trying to make it move, I'll select layer move, since that is the layer that we will be making move. And then since we want to move left, if you want to move left, you have to enter a negative value. I'll just do -1, because 1 is kind of slow. The higher the value, the faster it will be moving. And now down here, what we want to do is we want to make it trigger event layer move right, because after this then we want to move right. And then the delay, how long do you want this to happen before the next thing happens? Or in other words, how long do you want it to move left before it starts moving right? So I'll just do like 3 seconds, and then on layer move right we'll pretty much do the same thing. Layer movement, layer move, and then this time we'll do 1 because we want to move right, because remember, positive values are right. And then on the vertical, positive values are up and negative values are down. And then we're going to want this to trigger event layer move left, because after it's moving right we want it to move left again. So I'll just do another 3 seconds on this, and then we should be good with that. So now we should place some blocks and make sure that you have layer move or whatever layer you have selected, and then I'll just place them like right there. And now this platform that we've made right here will move. So I'll just test it out here. It should work. And yes, as you can see, it moves left and right just fine. And And yeah, so that's how you make a basic moving platform. It's pretty amazing, I know. Okay, let's say you want to make it so that once you hit this question mark block, it will make some other tiles somewhere in the level disappear. Well, what you would want to do is you want to create a new layer and a new event. In this case, I just named them both go away. And then what you would want to do before you place this question mark block is you would want to go to events, show, and then you would want to bring the drop down menu on hit, and then you would want to select go away, or whatever you named the event, and then you would place it here. So basically when this gets hit, it will trigger the event go away. So now what you would want to do is, I'll just get rid of this because we don't want it to happen with this. And then and then you would want to select the layer that you made go away, because let's just say that these are the blocks that you want to make go away after you hit the question mark block. So then you'll just place these on that layer, and then you'll come here and then select the event go away, and then right here where it says layers, you'd want to select the go away layer, and then you would want to select add to hide layers. You want to add it to hide the layers. And now you should be good. So we'll just test this out here. Beep. Yep, there we go. Now the blocks are gone, and you can go on all merrily with your life. Now, if you'll notice, when I hit the block and made these go away, a little puff of smoke appeared. If you don't want that smoke to appear, you just want it to disappear, then select this checkbox, no smoke. Okay, so let's say you want to do the exact opposite of this. Let's say you want it to be so that some blocks will be invisible, and then once you hit this block, they will appear and become visible. Well, what you would want to do is you want to select level start, and then I've created a new event called come back because we want the blocks to reappear, and I've also created a new layer for it. So I'll just select the new layer that I've made, and then I will, under hide layers, I'll add it there because I want it to I want the layer to be hidden upon the start of the level. And then I will select the comeback event, and I will select this comeback thing right here, and I'll add it to show layers. So then I'll just place something on that layer. I'll just place, I don't know, this little block right there. So then for this you'll have to place a new block, and then you'll have to make it activate the event come back. So you can't have one block activate two events. I kind of forgot about that. I apologize. So now, as you can see, I made that appear, and that makes that disappear. So that's good. I also forgot to mention, let's say you want some sort of event to happen at the start of the level, but you've already got something selected in the trigger event, and then these events can't really trigger it because they're triggering each other. So what do you do then? Well, what you could do instead is you could just go to this and then check this box auto start. So if you check that box on the event, then it will just automatically start at the end of the level. So that's another thing you could do instead of making it trigger at the level at the start of the level. And honestly, this is probably easier and more more reasonable and stuff. Okay, let's say you want to create an event that makes it so that once you hit a switch block, I'll just use this switch block for an example, it makes a layer disappear and then reappear, or vice versa. Well, what you'd want to do is you'd want to just take the switch block, make sure you're placing it on the default layer because there's no real reason to place it on a new layer. And then you're going to want to create a new layer and a new event. And then you'll just want to select the layer and then select the blocks that you want to be toggled. So I'll just place these blocks right there. And then you'll want to select the event and then select the layer that you've placed the blocks on that you want to be toggled, and then add them to toggle layers. And now once you Darn. I am making mistakes all over the place, and I think I know what mistake I made. Here we go. Events, show, hit. You want to make it trigger the event. I often forget to do that, and I don't know why. But now it should work. Yes, see, it makes it disappear and reappear. Just all nice and happy face. Okay, let's say you want to make an event that makes the background or the music change. Now keep in mind that I will show you the background for the example, but if you want the music to change, then you would just do the exact same thing, except you would do it under the music category instead. So let's say I want it to change from the block's background to the hill's background when I hit a block. Well, what I would do is I would first make a new event, and I'll just call it background change. Wow, that's pretty good spelling there. And then I would select the background here that I want it to change to. And then once I have it selected, I would, under background, I would select use current. And then you would do the same thing for the music. You would select the music, hit use current, and then once you've done that, you change the background or music back to what you normally want it to use before you hit the block. And then, once you have the block selected, then you would just go to Events, Show, Hit, Background Change, or whatever event it was, and now it should work. I'll just test it out here. A little bit of lag. Whoa, computer. It's doing something. And yes, as you can see, that just changes the background. Like I said, the same thing goes for music, except you do it under the music tab and you do it with music instead of the background. Now, you know how you can make NPCs say stuff? Well, have you ever seen how, like, sometimes once you talk to an NPC, they say multiple messages, like one after another? Well, I'll show you how to do that here. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a new event for each message that you want to appear. So let's just say I want 3 messages to appear. So I'll create 2 layers, because the first one you can just do right here. So I'll put hi, and then here under message 2, I'll just put what I want to say secondly, yo. And then under message 3, I'll just do bye. And then under events, I'll do show, and then where it says talk, you're gonna want to select message 2, and then you'll just place them wherever. And then in the message 2 event, you'll want to select trigger event message 3, and then you'll just do this, like say you have a 4th message, then you'll just create a new layer and then call it message 4, whatever you want to. Put the message here, and then go back to message 3, and then do trigger event, trigger message 4. And then you just pretty much keep doing that. And now it should work. This guy should say a bunch of stuff. Let's just see here. Hi, yo, bye, ha, ha, you silly goose. Okay, now as you can see, there are more options here than just hit. There's death, and then no more objects and layers, so I'll cover these. Now I've created just a basic event here that, also I'm sorry, I have the wrong layer selected. I'll just select the default layer. I've created an event here that makes it so that at the start of the level, well, I've created 2 events actually. One that makes it so that at the start of the level, these guys disappear, and then I've created another event that makes them appear, just so you can see that this works. So event triggers death. Basically what death means is once this block is destroyed, it will make the event occur. So now this, you obviously wouldn't want to do this with a block that cannot be destroyed, for example this block or something, because then, you know, it would kind of be impossible for the event to happen because it can't be destroyed. So I'll just select this block that can be destroyed for an example. So if I do death, then I'll just select block creation, because that's the event that I made that will make these blocks appear. And then if I just place it right there, and then I test out the level, then oh shoot, I need a mushroom so that I can actually destroy it. So I'll just do that. Now it should be good, yes. because, you know, if you're not big or if you don't have a power-up or something, then you can't destroy these blocks. So as you can see, I just jumped up and destroyed it, and then it's dead, apparently, and now it made those blocks disappear, so you can see that it worked. Now, the no more... Here, let me see this. The no more objects in layer. Basically what this does is, once all the objects in the layer are destroyed, it will make the event happen. So you'd obviously need to create a new layer. I'll just do objects in layer or something super creative like that. So now that I have this new layer created, I will just place all the blocks on this layer, and since we want the event to trigger after there are no more objects in the layer, I'll just select the event, and then make sure you have that event selected for all the blocks in the layer, or else it will not work. And then I'll just create this big string here. But like, for example, here I'll show you, if you change the block to... Oh, I thought once you change the block, this became erased, but apparently it doesn't, so never mind. But just check every so often and make sure that the stuff that you're placing has the event and the no more objects in layer, because it has to be like that for every block. Anyways, I really hope that made sense. Please tell me if it didn't, and I'll be happy to explain further. And now once I destroy all of these, see that appeared, so that's how that works. Now the NPC event triggers. What death means, it should be pretty self-explanatory. You just select the event that you want it to trigger, and then upon this enemy's death, it will trigger that event. And then talk, if you have it so that you can talk to the NPC, then once you've talked to the NPC, it will trigger whatever event you have selected in here. And then activate, it's a little bit strange, but basically what activate does is the very moment that the enemy comes on screen, whatever event you have selected in here will activate. So I'll show you an example because it's kind of hard to describe in words. And then this no more objects in layer is the exact same as the blocks and tiles. So if you just select whatever event that you want it to activate, and then you just place all the enemies down with that event in the no more objects in layer, and then once you kill all those enemies, then it will activate the event, just like with the blocks. And then attach to layer, I'll come back to that one. Now activate, I'll just get rid of that. Now activate, I'll just do block create. No, actually what I should do is I'll just select this paratroopa and then advanced. I want you to hover left and right. No, you know what, I want you to hover up and down. And now I'll select activate block creation so that you can see if this works, and then I'll place him way out here. Okay, so now I placed the paratrooper guy kind of far out. So now as you can see, the blocks are not there, but once he comes on screen, the blocks should appear. Yep, as you can see, he's on screen and now the blocks appeared. So that's what the activate event trigger thing does. Now the attach to layer event trigger, this one is actually kind of fun to mess around with. But basically what it does is you place an enemy with attached to layer enabled, and then whatever you place on the layer that you have selected in here will do the exact same thing that NPC does. So once again, it's kind of hard to explain, so I'll just show you. I'll just select this guy, and then I'll make a new layer. I'll just call it coins. And then I do not want to place this guy on that layer. I want to place this guy on default, and then I want to have him attached to layer coins. I want to put coins in attached to layer, or whatever layer it is. And then I'll just place, this guy, and then I'll just select these here coins, and I'll put these on the coins layer, and I'll just put them right there. And now what should happen is, you know how normally coins just sit still? Well, since I have attached to layer enabled, they should move and do the exact same movements that the Goomba does. So here, I'll show you here. Yes, indeed. So it's like, oh, that guy's carrying some coins with him. And then see, now that he's dead, he's not moving anymore, so the coins stop. So that's what attached to layer does. Now it also works with blocks, and I think it even works with backgrounds, and it works with many things other than NPCs. So that's what that does. I think I actually showed everything. So thank you for watching. There's really not much more in this series, maybe just a few videos. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped. This is a pretty advanced topic I'm talking about here, so if you did not understand anything, then please let me know, or feedback, or whatever, and I'll be glad to help. Thanks for watching, and yes.